Am I wrong for splashing women with water at the pool? Swimming is my female 31 hobby and how I keep healthy. My favorite swimming pool is my local university pool. And while it doesn't do lane swimming, typically everyone knows to stay away from those doing laps. So I was doing laps at the far end with the pool wall on my side so I couldn't move if I wanted to. I was mid-session when two women jumped right in front of me and stood there by the wall on the shallow end. I couldn't stop in time and pushed from the wall between them, forcing them to move aside. I was more careful next lap, but they just kept standing there. There was plenty of space on the other side of the pool where they could stand and chat without bothering anyone, but they chose to stand there. Am I wrong for splashing women with water at the pool? So I continued swimming, pushing from the wall. If they refused to move, I just turned in water, making sure to make a big splash. I took a break to drink some water and one of them started screaming at me how I got her hair all wet. I told her it's her fault and continued swimming. In the changing room, she called me inconsiderate and said I ruined her hair. I told her to F off and she started going off at me and started screaming, calling me an asshole and a B word. I grabbed my stuff and went to one of the cubicles to have a shower and change, and when I got out, they were talking to the manager. One of them was actually crying about her hair. I told my sister and she thinks I'm wrong and now I need to know.
My groomsman has had sex with my fiance.
I'm gagged.
My fiance, 24 female, and I, 25 male, are getting married in about 6 months. One of my groomsmen is a friend, 26 male, that I've been very close with for like 8 years. One of my best friends. Well, a few years ago, when we were all in college together, we had a threesome. We were all drunk and we ended up deeply regretting it. Whenever I remember it, I cringe with shame, and I can't even say it out loud if it comes up while my fiance and I are talking. However, it basically went undiscussed ever since. Never talked about it, just tried to forget it. And for the most part, I did forget about it. We continue to be friends and hang out regularly for years. The three of us have even hung out together with no awkwardness. Since my friend has been one of my closest friends for so long that whenever I proposed, I made him a groomsman at the wedding without even thinking about it. But for the last couple of months, I can't stop thinking about him and my fiance together, especially since I found out shortly after that night that they continued to have sex after I passed out on the couch. So it especially hurts thinking about that moment of them alone together. Also, on top of this, before the incident, my friend had inappropriately touched my girlfriend after a night of drinking when the three of us fell asleep in the same room. Also, he continued to flirt with her after the incident and after we knew it was a mistake and would never happen again. I deeply regret and am ashamed of my actions at the time. I guess I didn't have enough respect for myself or my girlfriend to address this and confront him at the time about these and 2 other things. But basically, now I feel like it's humiliating to have him as a groomsman and that I should tell him he can't be up there with us anymore, especially since other people have heard about those, so it's not just a secret between the 3 of us anymore. At the same time, he is my friend, and it feels crazy to do this to him. I also don't want to make waves and create a rift in the larger friend group since they are a part of the wedding party as well. It also feels silly and unfair to bring this up now after years of saying nothing and acting like best friends. I know my friend is ashamed of that night and of his actions from college, and I believe he has changed. We all have. I have no idea how to approach this, or if I approach him about this, or if I'm overreacting/overthinking. Maybe I shouldn't let it bother me since it was so long ago. But every time I'm reminded of that night, I get filled with shame and embarrassment. I don't even know who I can talk to about this.
Am I wrong for using graphic and vulgar language when my teacher wouldn't let me bring my bag to the bathroom? I, 17 female, have this hard-ass old-school teacher who I'll call Mr. Miller, but his name is Steve. He's in his 50s and super strict, especially with the girls. Due to a stunt pulled last year, he has a policy that students can't take their bags to the bathroom. His idea is that if students have to leave their bags behind, they'll come back for them. As you can imagine, the rule has been frustrating for the girls in class because, as you know, most women's clothing don't have pockets large enough to fit pads, at least discreetly. So I've been putting them in my hoodies, but it's been really hot, so Thursday I didn't wear one. Halfway through the class, I raised my hand and asked to go to the bathroom. Am I wrong for using graphic and vulgar language when my teacher wouldn't let me bring my bag to the bathroom? He said yes, and I stood up with my bag, hoping he wouldn't notice. Well, he noticed and reminded me in a condescending way that I had to leave my bag in the classroom. I responded, sorry, I need it, and he said, I don't care, I make the rules, please go to the bathroom without the bag or sit down. I said, come on, please, I need my bag, and he said, I'll bite, why in the world would you possibly need the backpack? So I shouted, because I need a pad to soak up the blood that comes out of my you-know-what, Steve. I then stormed out with the bag and was intercepted in the hallway by a guidance counselor and taken to the office. Am I wrong? Am I wrong for yelling at the neighbor's kids at 2 a.m. and calling the cops and CPS? My neighbors have 6 kids and I have 3 dogs, all of which I keep in check. I work from home as a medical consultant, so I watch them inside and out. Well, 3 months ago, this family moved in and it's been a nightmare. First, their kids knocked on my door asking for a Wi-Fi password. I told them I couldn't share it due to work, and every day that week they kept asking. Then they noticed I had a pool and started showing up in swimming suits and their mom on the sidewalk knocking on my door asking to swim. I said no, but I allow my dogs to jump in the pool, and the mom said, you let your dog swim. It just wasn't neighborly. Am I wrong for yelling at my neighbor's kids at 2 a.m. and calling the cops and CPS? My husband was away on business when my dogs who sleep in and around my bed woke me up. I groggily walked to the kitchen and saw all their kids in the pool. I came out screaming and they scrammed, and the mother of them came and called me the B word. I then called the cops and forwarded the report to CPS too. I will say I'm too sensitive, and when I was 11, 3 burglars broke into my house and saw me. I screamed and they ran. Screaming at them wasn't okay no matter how angry, and now I'm embarrassed to leave my house. The mom flipped me off along with her children when I went to the vet this morning. Update, they tried to open the door when I wasn't home. Am I wrong for denying my boyfriend a once-in-a-lifetime experience just to be stubborn? I get free tickets to events in the US every year, keeping it vague for privacy, but box seats at popular sports games and up-close seats as well as concerts. And each year I get X amount of tickets. My boyfriend wanted to quit smoking, and I told him if he did, we could celebrate with tickets to X event. He was excited for that and came up with a plan to quit. Well, fast forward a month later, I saw he made no progress and said, I guess I'll invite your sister to the Taylor Swift concert then, since you're not making an effort to quit anymore. Now he's getting upset and saying it's not fair to tie the tickets to smoking. Am I wrong for denying my boyfriend a once-in-a-lifetime experience just to be stubborn? He got upset and said that it's not fair to tie the tickets to smoking, and I should invite him to some of my free events just to be nice and share the experiences. I said we could discuss doing more than one a year when he quit smoking, but not before. He got upset and said it was really rude of me to hold the tickets over his head, and instead of trying to quit smoking, we should just go together. So now I'm holding my ground and he's holding his. Am I wrong for denying him these experiences until he quits smoking? I've never smoked cigarettes, so maybe I'm just unsympathetic. Also, he does want to quit and has been saying this for years.
My sister managed to ruin 2 families' lives with her selfishness. Gross vehicular manslaughter while intoxicated. 2 counts of it. She was so wasted that she doesn't even remember leaving the party that night. She was out partying again. No idea why. She failed nearly every single one of her university classes. She's never needed an excuse though. College for her has just been a free pass to party and run up a credit card bill. My parents have sheltered her from the minute that she could walk and have never made her face a single consequence for her actions. The last year has shown she has no motivation to work or do anything really. Just guilt my parents for money with promises of doing better next time. She crashed the car that my dad got her into a pool high on MDMA last fall. I told my parents that they need to take the car back. I told her that she needed to stop driving if she was high or drunk. I begged everybody to do something before she hurt someone. A mother and her child. That's the lives she ended up taking. I've heard she was married and had a young baby at home as well. My sister doesn't understand what she's truly done. That, or she doesn't care. My parents have convinced her that everything will be fine. Again, because they don't understand or care. They think that because she's 19, they won't throw her in prison. Because she's never been caught breaking the law before, she'll get a slap on the wrist or something. That she can bat her lashes and fake a cry, and she'll avoid the big girl consequence for the mistake she made. She's looking at 20 years for this. I won't be sticking around to watch the courtroom drama play out. Me and my brother are cutting contact today. Am I in the wrong for asking my wife to stop dancing for me until she gets better? I'm 33 male and my wife 26 female has recently gone into sensual type of dance classes. Think burlesque or twerking to R&B music type stuff. She's an artistic type and loves music, movies, etc. But she's always wanted to try dancing for fun. I supported her new interest and I was happy to see her having fun. After about 2 to 3 months of taking these classes pretty consistently, she sat me down one night for a surprise. She dimmed the lights, came back in a sexy outfit and danced to a song. I was super excited to watch her, as she's been pretty shy about seeing her dance before, but I have to say that it was not good. If I'm being honest, it was really bad. To give an example, think of the show King of Queens, when Carrie takes up pole dancing and dances for Doug. I know it's played up for TV, but it was almost at that level. She tripped a few times and just overall didn't look comfortable or sexy, but I chalked it up to nerves and said it was great, and the night continued. A week later, she did another show for me, and it was just as bad. I didn't want to get into the habit of her doing these shows for me and secretly not liking it, so the next night when we were cuddling before bed, she asked if I wanted another show sometime, and I told her as kindly as possible that I don't say this to embarrass her, but that the dances haven't been doing it for me. I asked her if she felt nervous or shy, and she said a little bit, but the nerves went away once she started dancing. Overall, she seemed to take it in good sport. But then the next morning, she was noticeably distant and eventually admitted that she's upset and hurt that I told her to stop and that I should have just kept watching them even if I didn't like it so she could get better over time. Obviously, it wasn't my intention to hurt her, but I felt like I was placed in a tough spot here. So, am I in the wrong?